let me even start by saying, before we will advise young people to read contract, please, the people who are drafting the contract, the record labels and the film companies and all of that, why don't you draw up contracts that will be favorable to these people? Because most of the cats we have in the industry, if you even count from the big 5 to the big 10, Davido, Burna Boy, Wizkid, this, that, it's only maybe about 20 to 25% of them that are from privilege. And that privilege gives you the opportunity for knowledge. It gives you the opportunity to know things. It gives you the opportunity to know people. So you can even have a lawyer friend that say, can you please just look at it? But most of these folks are from the streets, they are hungry. They have their body is burning with passion.
So in other words, you say some labels take advantage of that and make draconian clauses
from the source. Let us address the problem from the source. That you that drew up this contract and say you're going to collect 70%, you're going to own his life, you're going to do this. If it's your son or your daughter they wrote that contract for, will you be happy? Will you advise your child to accept this contract? So why do you draw up this kind of contract for an artist in the first place, or for an entertainer in the first place, when you know that if it's your brother or your sister or your child they drew up that contract for, you will not be happy. So let's start from the source of the problem, which is the companies or the investors or whatever who are drawing up these contracts. Then we can now circle back or walk back to say, okay, please, young folk, as much as possible, as hungry as you are, try, read the contract. But the truth of the matter is that, most of us, when we are saying this thing, is because it's either we grew up, we went to at least okay schools, so we're able to learn one or two things. Even though we had passion and talent, we were not so hungry as it were, So, because, when you look at the late Mohbad, for example, that guy he was a carpenter, he had his carpentry stuff. Now, when you hear all the music, all this fantastic music that came from this soul, you now wonder that, if this was your carpenter that year, would you have believed that this boy coming to fix your furniture had this much in him? Then he wants to express himself, and somebody is telling him, just come to the studio, you'll be out there. Baba, they don't want to know. So, in as much as we say, please read the contract, try and draw. Okay, picture this. If these young chaps, they read the contract and, they say, no, Baba, this thing no do good, no do well for me. And Baba say, no problem, now make you day your day. Who lose? And this thing is
so in other words, you're saying even if they point out issues that... Hello, Mr. Dan.
Well, let me just land on this. Let me just land on this real quick. So even as you think that, okay, some of us are established, I might get one kind of contract from Hollywood. And in the excitement of, my God, Hollywood, I'm going to be on the big screen, Hollywood way, I might say, no, leave the contract. Or when I look at the contract is one can say, man, I just want to be in Hollywood. At least we have conquered Nigeria. Let's conquer Africa. Let's conquer the world. And then by the time we're there now, at the point, I'm not saying, this 30% and 25% you say you will pay me, is no longer comfortable. And they say, no, you sign a contract. You can do that. You sign a contract. Then we'll start to fight. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes you don't know where hunger will catch you. And when I'm talking about hunger now, I'm not just talking about food, or survival. I'm talking about the hunger where you need the world to hear you, because you know that you have a lot inside of you by giftings and talents, So you will trace the problem to the root cause, like every doctor will diagnose. People who are drafting this contract, please look at these people as your brothers and sisters.
But let me quickly add. So you're saying even if these contracts, the artists point out certain clauses that they are uncomfortable with, the chances of the organizations or labels editing or perhaps drawing up something new that would be better suitable is very limited, especially when these artists are from the streets and really have nothing to show. Is that what the case is mostly like?
Yeah, because I can tell you, even in my established state, I just signed or just had my first endorsement deal last month.
Congratulations.
With a real estate company. Yeah, and that is not because that's the first endorsement deal that has come my way. I have had at least let's see, between 20, especially from 2018 or 2019 till date, I've always had one conversation or two conversations in at least every 3 to 4 months. But when I look at the clauses and everything, I walk away. In fact, then some of them are actually
that's because you're not hungry.
Beyond now, exactly. So, but how many of us did there? Do you understand? So there are some people that they need that money, they need that expression. Sometimes I can tell you, I've actually had some pressure some time ago to like, okay, I don't really need this money. However, I need the what's the word now? I need to sell that image that me too, I'm also a product endorser or a brand ambassador. Do you understand? I need people to also see that I'm a brand ambassador. But again, I walk back to say, when you collect this money, start to do the work. You go come, look you like say, oh, I thought this was okay. You will now feel like, you are now being underpaid. You now have like, I'm working like a slave here. This work I'm doing, I'm supposed to collect X. Why am I collecting Y? You get what I'm saying? And then problems start. So you know what? Leave am. You get. So it now comes back to, maybe I could have had some of these deals if the contracts in the first place were favorable. And I look at the clauses and say, wow, this is nice. I'm good. You understand?
Well said.
In as much as it's a two-way street, in as much as we will say young people, aspiring talents, budding talents, your time will come, your opportunity will come. What will be. Hold fast, hold strong, read through those contracts. You must have one neighbor that is a lawyer, one court and judge and bail around you that will at least help you read it and say, oh boy, no sign, this thing no good. But really, which one between that and the man who has the money, who has the pen, who has the lawyer that drafted all that grammar, wherewith, forthwith, herein, foretold, which one is easily controlled? Can we control the man or advise the man that drafts and is making those clauses, or can we control the hungry soul that is burning for expression?